What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Pacific Sports Talk Radio here.
I'm Dean. This is Brady over here. We're finally doing this together, right?
Finally doing it, man.
Yeah, man. Stoked.
Just gonna change the title here.
Yeah, no worries. So, guys, to fill you in, we're going to be doing just sports news talk today. We're going to be going over the draft because the draft was nuts. And from now on, except for this upcoming Thursday, we're going to do our indie topics on Thursdays, on Fridays in the future. But this Thursday is an exception. So we'll be talking about, on Thursday, we'll be talking about gaming and the influence, football, Madden. What are we doing? Madden. We're doing the show.
Yes.
And so we'll be going over like the influence of video games to the early 2000s and sports. So that'll be our indie topic on Thursday.
Yeah. So today we'll be going over the draft. I got my LaCroix right here, just hanging out.
Yeah, man.
First in-person show, pretty hype.
Yeah, this is our first one. Wow.
All right, man.
So what did you think of the draft, man?
Oh man, I was pretty stoked after seeing who we picked, and if you guys caught a few of our episodes, we were kind of up and down. Dean was pretty big on Justin Fields.
Quarterbacks.
I liked Fields and Trey Lance. We both agreed that either of those quarterbacks would be pretty hype if we picked them, and we got Trey Lance. So
yeah, the Niners got Trey Lance. Wow. So
big news, man.
What I think is really cool is like, so we knew Trevor Lawrence was going 1. That's not shocking.
Yeah.
And then Zach Wilson 2. Trey Lance at 3. And then Justin Fields, man, dude, the Bears trading up to get Justin Fields after that car crash of a Mitchell Trubisky trade.
I know.
You remember? Like, I felt bad for the Bears for a while.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of the Bears. Like, respect. They're
still a little sussed on their coach.
Oh, Matt Nagy's sketch, but you got to give them that they had like the cojones to do that. Trading 2 first after they screwed up. Like,
do you see out of the 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, how many of them are going to start first week?
So we'll also Mac Jones went 15 to the New England Patriots. Okay.
Yes.
So those are the 5 quarterbacks. Sorry, what was your question? I just wanted.
And then Zach Wilson, number 2 overall. We didn't get to.
Oh no, I said the first thing.
Okay, I skipped ahead there.
What was your question though?
The question was, out of the 5 quarterbacks, who do you see starting week 1 of the NFL season?
Oh well, it's going to be Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Those are going to be the only 2.
Okay.
Because
Andy Dalton takes the lead role up there.
Yeah. Well, they need to ease Justin Fields in.
Okay.
I can't imagine them. They don't. The last thing this is their last chance. They're out if Justin Fields comes in and is terrible and they ruin his confidence. Like, they're done. Nagy and I forget the GM's name. They were both a part of that trade. I forget his name, but and then Trey, they're gonna sit behind Jimmy, but Jimmy could get hurt. But start of the season, he's definitely behind him. Yeah. And then Mac, they just signed Cam Newton 1 year, $10 million. Like, they're not gonna rush Mac.
No.
And plus, the Pats like passing game is very like hard to learn, like very tough, kind of like the Niners, offense. So they need some time,
So I think what I want to do right now is let's just assess these 5 guys where they are and like how we feel they're gonna play out and this year, and which ones we think are gonna be to look out for as like highly.
Yeah, because it's like 50-50 on a first round quarterback whether they're a bust or not, right? They're a bust or star. It's
statistically speaking
around there, right?
Statistically speaking, only maybe 2 out of 5 are going to be good.
Yeah, maybe 3, maybe. It's give or take because we're given the 10%, 40 or 60, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
flip there.
I do think, like, I know we're biased Niner fans, but
yeah.
I think Trey. It was, what were they saying? I mean, multiple guys said it. Schefter said it. A bunch of guys. Whoever was going to the Niners had the best chance to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Pats, with all their signings, I think Mac's going to do great in New England, to be honest with you. Like, those tight ends, you know what the best friend of a young quarterback is?
You've said it a few times. Why don't you say it again?
A tight end. and he's got 2. So
Hunter Henry and
Hunter Henry and the guy from the Titans.
Jonah.
Jonah, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good pickups.
Oh yeah. you forgot about Jonah?
I forgot.
They hella overpaid him. They paid him it was like a $70 million. They paid him way more than Hunter Henry.
Well, I think Bill Belichick right now, as the general manager, just after witnessing what happened with Tampa, he needs to prove that he is the guy, which I think he is. I don't think the Patriots will have a problem getting into the playoffs.
No. He went back to when they were great, when they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. That's what he likes, his 2 tight end sets, man. And,
he's been doing that even since
way back. Those are just the 2
random ones, not Hall of
Those
Famers.
are just the 2 best. Yeah, if Aaron Hernandez didn't do what he did, he would have been a Hall of Famer if he would have kept going.
No, those are his 2 best draft picks of all time.
Yeah.
Edelman was undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
Welker undrafted.
No, those were diamonds in the rough. Yeah. Welker got drafted as a special teamer by the Dolphins, remember?
Yeah.
And then he owned the Patriots in a couple games, and Bill's like, I want that, man.
Bill can recognize talent on an NFL field, but when it comes to how they are in college, he has a harder time figuring
with receivers. He's not good with receivers.
No.
That's just not.
And he lucked out with Brady.
Tight ends are easier, tight ends are easier to grade, I think.
And he lucked out with Brady too.
Yeah.
If you want to get into it.
Yeah. Drew Bledsoe, was he there when they picked Drew Bledsoe? No, that was before him, right? Did he inherit Drew Bledsoe?
He inherited him. He went from the Browns to the Patriots.
Okay. Drew Bledsoe was a high pick by the Patriots, but that was before him. Drew Bledsoe was a great quarterback before he got hurt.
Oh, yeah, all-star.
So to go back to our conversation, the Jets and the Jags, I think Trevor Lawrence, I kind of feel bad for Zach Wilson because I feel like with Trevor Lawrence, they're implementing an entire new offense. Urban Meyer's coming. Yeah. They're gonna give him time to
Oh, he's gonna chill out.
But the Jets, man, New York, they're
deep end.
They're like, you better be effing good, man.
Dude, I think that man, it's like a coin flip. I know I just said that earlier, but for Zach Wilson in New York, he's either gonna prove us wrong and be fucking stud, or he's going to start hearing it from the New York critics.
It's the most scrutinized city in America. Scrutiny. It's not scrutinized. The people scrutinize their teams. That's what I meant.
I feel like it's going to be kind of a shock either way. For us, because it's if he plays well, effing well,
mm-hmm.
he's going to play lights out, or he's going to suck and he's just going to get torn down.
Do you know what's really interesting to me? You brought up that meme that he's like the Disney guy playing he's this little cute 16-year-old that's what he looks like.
He looks hella young.
But I don't know where he's from, but so he's Mormon, right? And he must be small town.
He's from Utah. Yeah.
He's small town. But did you see they were taking photos in that meme where it's hello, sirs, I'm also a football player. Man, that's going to be a huge wake-up call going from,
Well, do you know
Utah.
why he went to BYU, right?
Because he's Mormon?
Well, he's Mormon, but he went to BYU because it was close to... He's from around that area of Utah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it is. But every week, he would go home and have home-cooked meals from his mom. That's how that's
a huge story.
That's
a huge story then.
Just hometown kid, He's never left that area, I don't think. I don't know much about the guy, but
he just looks like a really happy kid, and New York is ruthless. I'm just
it's like throwing the small town boy in the city. You know what I mean? It's like some Journey song.
He just looked very out of place when they were taking team photos, and he was next to Waddle and Pitts and all those guys, and it's
dude, who's he throwing to? Jamison Crowder? That's his best receiver.
No, didn't they sign?
You like the one tight end on the Jets?
Yes.
You think he's a beast? I remember you told me.
Well, it's because what's his face hated him. The last coach. You remember?
That troll?
No, it's kind of messed up when a player just gets on the crap list of a coach and he just won't use him, even if he's talented.
Wait. What was the name of the coach on the Jets? I'm blanking out. You know his name. Because you were calling him out.
I was calling him. Well, because I picked him up on waivers, and I'm like, why is this guy not?
This guy had his team name as the Jets, man. You embraced it.
Jets trademark.
Yeah.
I was terrible, but that's a good point, by the way. I think God, I'm gonna look him up.
We'll be using our phones this show. In the
Yeah,
future.
yeah. Well, because we're not on.
We
up
usually have our
close, yeah.
computers.
It's God. What's his name? Chris Herndon. Chris Herndon.
Herndon, yeah.
He's. I actually think he's gonna have a hell of a year with Zach Wilson because, as I've said, like he's gonna be the check down guy.
Well, talking about fantasy picks, we'll be.
I would like him as a top 12, to be honest, because the tight end, the tight end position isn't that deep. But a little sidetrack, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Pitts might win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Really?
With Matt Ryan under center.
Well, dude,
Calvin Ridley, they picked up the 5-year.
I don't.
Julio, I don't know if they're going to trade him, but what do you think of that?
If they hold on to Julio and they have Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley, I'll say this for fantasy purposes only.
And their defense is still terrible.
They're not winning the South. They're
No.
not. Tampa will.
They're going to put up 40 piece a game, though. they might be like they're going to put up some crazy offensive numbers.
I mean, do you think they'll be? Maybe. I mean, they'll be second place for sure. The Saints aren't anything in my book.
I think with Kyle, if they keep Julio.
Here's my thing though. Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to take a backseat this year because a lot of his production came from the fact that Julio Jones was out, and then if you throw Kyle Pitts in that offense, his targets are down. So he's going to be higher ranked because of his production last year. Don't buy into that. He's not going to have as good.
I think it's going to help all of their touchdown numbers though.
Touchdown numbers, yeah, but you're not going to get as many touchdowns.
No.
Ridley's like a good like receiving yards.
I honestly think Kyle Pitts can get 80 receptions and like 7 touchdowns. Nah, that's kind of 6.
I think 75 receptions is like. I mean,
like locked in. Like
Yeah.
I would bet on that. like,
we'll have to make a
it's gonna be crazy. I kind of like that. I think he's gonna be, and they're gonna be behind all the time because their defense is so terrible. I like Kyle Pitts for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Depending on the court, if Trey Lance jumps in there early and pulls a Justin Herbert, then I would say that's a different scenario. Or Mac Jones even, But
so all right, we've sidetracked it a little bit.
I had to go off on that tangent because Kyle Pitts is a monster. He's
a
monster.
I'm stoked. I mean, I like assessing all the different draft stuff. We're just a little bit pressed for time on this particular show, so we'll just cut back to the quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, we think he'll be productive with the set of weapons he has.
I think that side-by-side photo of him and Tom Brady at the Combine, the dad bods,
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
Part of me thinks so he's obviously going for Tom Brady 2.0, right? Like that's the vibe.
Yeah. Well, because he's seriously accurate. I mean, he set the NCAA record. Joe Burrow had the touchdown record. Mac Jones, I think he completed 77% of his passes. That's insane. Granted, he had Waddle, who went 6th overall, and Devontae Smith won the Heisman, and he went 10th overall.
5 of their guys.
And Najee Harris went 24th overall to the Steelers, and he was a running back.
5 Bama players went top 20.
And 6 went in the first round. It tied the Miami record, the 2001 team. Yep. Woo.
Frank Gore actually really liked the Trey Lance pick.
I saw that.
Did you send me that?
I sent you that. Yeah.
Okay, I forget who sent me what.
Or I tagged you or something. Yeah. That was really cool though, right?
No, I like that a lot. I like how Lynch keeps in touch.
Yeah.
Or no, not Lynch. It was definitely not Lynch. It was the owner, York.
Yeah, it was York and Gore. Well, because he's gonna come back and retire supposedly. But anyways, we're off topic. So okay, let's ask some quarterback questions.
Fields.
Yeah. So okay, let's go through. So Trevor and Zach are gonna start. How many? Okay, let's do this. Over under. We'll do over under games before Mac and before Fields and before Trey start. How about we do that?
All right, you start because I'm not sure if I quite follow, but like
over under. Well, before they replace the starters.
Oh, okay. Like how many games it'll
Yeah.
take?
Okay. So okay, how about Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance?
Dude, I think a wise bet would be.
It's a crapshoot, that one. I gotta give it that.
Yeah, that's just. When is he gonna get injured?
Yeah.
I think if you want to put some money down, dude, like you can make some. There'd be chunky money line on that.
Oh, yeah.
On the under.
I would put it at 7 games. I don't think he's gonna last
But
past 7 games.
But the under, man, like he could just get hurt week 2 and then
Mhm.
cash because Trey's gonna play.
Mhm.
Trey's gonna be having that.
And there's gonna
Lamborghini.
be people calling for him out there. Like,
Oh yeah, dude! I went to the Niner game where Jimmy came in at the end. I know I tell you this all the time, but I haven't told the crowd. And I just remember people in the crowd. It's just kind of
the Seattle game, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy though because people at that game were like chanting Jimmy, and now fast forward 5 years or 6 years.
That's
maybe.
a trip to think about.
5 years definitely.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to start chanting the next guy. It's like, dude,
Trey Lance.
we got the skeletons in the closet.
Trey
Come check
area.
them out, man.
Yeah, man. That's.
You know what I mean?
Well, okay. But the thing with Jimmy, it's just like in football, the number one ability is availability. So it's like,
Makes sense.
and Jimmy got, for how often he was hurt, he got overpaid. Like 25, what 20 or 25 a year, and he was hurt for half of the season twice, one full season and then half of a season. So
I think it says a lot about Shanahan's ability to coach, but I'll give Jimmy credit where it's due. When he stayed healthy the one season, we made it to the Super Bowl.
And you know what else? What I thought was really cool? Trey admitted that he was the first one to text him after he got drafted. I thought that was like very like high character.
Dude, I have nothing but high regards for Jimmy G as a person, and I think that on the field when he's healthy, he can be an above-average passer. You know, I'd definitely
I'd put him in the top 15.
top 15,
easily.
and that's
He could even like get to 12 maybe if he just. The problem is, he's like on the timetable of a 24-year-old quarterback, like with playing time, right?
yeah.
Like he's not a 28-year-old, right? He doesn't have like 40 games under his belt, right?
I think he would have been way better off, and this is just something that we've talked about before. If they replaced Tom Brady with him before the Rams Super Bowl, after the Eagle loss, because they were making Super Bowls every year at that point.
Yeah.
But if they took him out after the Eagles Super Bowl, would have been hard because he got 500 yards, but they got rid of Tom that year, put Jimmy in.
Mhm.
I think that would have been the best situation for his career because he would have sat behind Tom for 2 years.
Yeah. But then again, like the reason he hasn't had that experience is because his body hasn't held up. So who knows? He could have gotten hurt. You remember when he came in to replace Tom? He got hurt.
Yeah.
So
He hurt his shoulder.
I think it's just his body, man. He just can't hold up to the beating, and he makes those mistakes, like the interceptions. But he also like doesn't know when to get out of bounds or when he tore his ACL. He was running for extra yards and he got hit. You remember?
He made a foolish juke. He was running out of bounds, and instead he juked, didn't get the extra yard, and tore his ACL.
Exactly.
Which you don't do as a franchise
But
quarterback.
I think the interceptions and the poor decision making goes hand in hand there.
Terrible decision making.
But it's in his interceptions and that like he doesn't, and he plays the thing that's been said. He played linebacker in high school, and it's like he goes out there and he plays tough. Well, Jimmy is not Josh Allen size.
No.
He can't run people over. Jimmy's 6'2", 220? Like, he can't be running people over in the NFL. Those are big human beings.
No,
Like-
that's actually crazy. I didn't know that he played linebacker.
Yeah, well, that's why he goes for the extra contact, But I got to give him credit. Like, in the Super Bowl, he went for those extra yards. But it also, like, that situation, you go for it. The situation in, week 1 or 2 that he did that, the ACL?
Week two.
Like, why are you doing that in week 2? I get a playoff game.
Who knows where that team would have gone had he stayed healthy? That would have been such a different
But
moment.
then we wouldn't have gotten Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
Nick Bosa changed everything.
that defense is stacked.
Yeah, so.
Thanks for the knee, Jim.
Yeah. We don't want to go down the San Francisco 49ers rabbit hole. So we didn't answer the question.
All right,
So-
let me talk Fields really quick.
okay, but we didn't do it. We didn't do
Oh,
it. Over
over,
under
under.
7 games.
I'll go under.
Okay.
All right, let's move over to Chicago.
I'll go over. But
Over.
I might do a wash. I might be 7 games. I chose the over under.
All right, you nailed the over under there. I'm gonna give over under in Chicago 4 games. I think Andy Dalton's gonna shit the bed weeks. I think he might go 2-2 best case scenario, and that's only because that defense is stacked.
I'm just like, I think I would say the over only because of this. Because Nagy's going to have to change his entire like on the side while he's coaching Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
You modify your offense for a guy like Justin Fields because of the athleticism in the running.
Yeah.
So I just should like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be longer than that. I know, man. The Bears fans are Chicago. They're just as ruthless.
I just don't think Dalton is gonna give the Bears what they want. We all know that what Dalton's gonna bring to the table.
I get it, but there aren't that many weapons on the Bears. There's literally just Allen Robinson and their running back, who's like all right.
Montgomery.
Yeah. Who else do they have on that team?
No one.
So are you gonna bring in Fields and let him ruin his confidence with that crappy offense?
I think their next best weapon is Cordell Patterson, the guy that was running touchdowns back in
That's what I'm saying.
2016.
Are they going to ruin his confidence by bringing him in that early? That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, you're right. I didn't really think about the lack of weapons there. I know that defense, man. Like that defense, if you put a quarterback on it that can play well, that defense can.
I agree with you, but he could take a beating with the limited offensive weapons. I'm just saying.
You're right. All right, I'm gonna go over there too, and I set the over under pretty low there. I think we'll move it to 6.
I think that it's safe 6 or 7 for both of those guys. Yeah. And then okay, so we'll go down to New England. That's really interesting.
That's a wild card because Cam Newton.
Because we don't know how Cam Newton's gonna be. That's the thing.
Second year.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to look to this too much for his struggle last year, but when he got COVID, he was never the same player. And I know it's not because of him.
He looked like he might have was going to win the MVP those first couple weeks.
First couple weeks he's playing great, and then he gets COVID, and it wasn't like, I'm not saying that it was the illness that screwed him over. I'm saying he had to quarantine away from his family and like all these other things, and he's already kind of on the ropes.
Well, I think it totally affected him.
Yeah.
He was out for a full year healing, right?
Yeah.
He had to learn a completely new offense. The Patriots passing game, as we've said, is one of the most complicated.
Yeah.
And then it ruined him. It ruined him. Like it totally. It's like baseball. Like he was hitting well, and it messed up his rhythm. I think it just totally messed him up.
Because after that, man, it was just curtains.
And he had no weapons. Nobody on that team offensively.
I know. He scored the most touchdowns.
Their running backs are all right.
He had the most rushing touchdowns, right, for quarterbacks.
I'm really curious with those tight ends and with the, Kendrick Bourne's all right. They have some like wide receiver 3s, but those tight ends are both tight end 1s. So
Edelman was just basically like half of himself. Do you think Edelman goes down to Tampa?
No, I think his body's beaten up. I think he's.
They had Shannon Sharp had a show on Facebook, and it was pretty cool. It had Julian Edelman, Dion, Kevin Hart. It was stacked.
Dion loves Julian Edelman.
Tom was on there, and Joy was on there.
Wait, was this during the draft when they had all those people on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mark Wahlberg was on there.
Kevin Hart was on there.
It was like Tom's entourage and then Shannon's crew.
Yeah.
And they were just all vibing.
Did you hear a little sidetrack? Did you hear what Tom said to Kevin Hart?
No, what did he say?
He's like, "Oh, well, Kevin's here because we couldn't get The Rock."
Oh,
it was like, bird.
Tom's gotten a little more savage in his later years.
He's just, all this is icing, man. Like, he's just living life right now. We're not going to go down to Tom Brady rabbit hole.
No, we're not. But what I will say on the Julian Edelman talk, is Tom said to him, he said, "We all know you just didn't want to tell Bill that you wanted to join Tampa." And Julian was like, "Where you at right now, bro? You looking nice with he's wearing a striped shirt." He's like, "You going on a boat later?"
Oh my god.
And they're just going back at it. They're like, "I'm in the Bay, bro."
Hey.
So I think he was referring to this Bay Area.
Yeah.
So that's cool. They're both in their former hometowns.
Yeah. So, man, that's a while. I probably can't even give an over-under on the New England. I don't even know.
I think we just got to go with our read, and we're not going to give an over-under. But I feel like Cam is going to play. I want to see Cam play well.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. But with those guys, he has to be better. Like, it makes. And there, you know what else? All those guys that opted out, all Hightower, great defensive player, defensive leader. Their defense is going to get better too.
Dude, it could be like an Alex Smith situation where Cam plays his heart out and kills it. The team's like, maybe like let's be realistic, 6-3, something like that.
Mhm.
9 games in, then maybe they start thinking we'll put that's. 'Cause I can't see Cam fail with that team.
I could really see Mac Jones being one of those guys like Aaron Rodgers that sits for 3 years. I really could see that if Cam really has that much gas left in the tank. But I gotta see that though.
We got to see it, man.
What I think is he's gonna come out firing and killing it for 5 or 6 games. I have to see if his body will hold up the back end of the season, the back 9, right?
He can handle it.
Yeah. Well, if his body's man, he early in his career he was throwing it around with reckless abandonment. He's just running people over because he's such a huge human being. So.
Yeah, Auburn, man.
Yeah. God, rough.
Gotta love it.
He can have his one ring. We're at a lot. We're at quite a few these days.
Gotta love the Southern rivalry down there.
Roll Tide. So we got through New England.
All right, 6:45 right now.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't tell the audience the time. So do you think the Niners reached on Trey? Would you have?
I don't.
Okay.
That was truly their guy. If you look back at what Shanahan was saying in January,
Mm-hmm.
he truly fell in love with this quarterback and the film that they had presented. They were sharing that around him and Lynch, and he was like calling. Did you hear the story? He was calling him. He was like, "Check it out. You got to check it out."
He's in Mexico.
He's in Mexico. He's
Yeah, he
watching
had
at 3 a.m.
Watch this dude.
And just I don't know. I went back and I looked at his film, and I just kind of pictured it in red and gold, and just the way he runs that offense, it's very similar, and he's just so athletic. It's hard to turn it down.
Well, what I really like about the pick is that he wasn't playing a gimmicky college offense just in the shotgun. He was running pro under center. No one runs under center these days,
No.
especially in college. And he was calling his own audibles at the line. You got to be really smart. Granted, it's FCS, but
he had 10 rushing touchdowns. I mean,
but calling your own audibles at the line, and this is 2019. He was 19 years old doing this.
Well, it's FCS, but you got to look at it like this. Okay, it is FCS, but what did he do in the FCS? He didn't just just get by.
He won the Walter Payton. He won their Heisman.
28 touchdowns.
Yeah.
To no interceptions.
Yeah.
He played flawlessly, Dean.
Yeah. And he won their Heisman, the FCS Walter Payton Award. And he's the only freshman to ever do that.
I think he's just some sort of. I mean, he loves football.
And they said
you
he's.
see it in his eyes.
Yeah. No, they said he was. Well, okay. So I also wanted to ask you: do you think that he was always their guy, or do you think you've been listening to some stuff today, and just the past couple days, as I have? Do you think they went up for Mac Jones and they changed position after looking at Trey Lance? Or do you think Trey Lance was their guy when they traded up? I'm curious, because I'm kind of split on that. I almost think... sorry, go ahead. I'm asking you.
So, a lot of people were saying that because of the way... I know, and they said... Shanahan said that they're not going to make their decision based on the fans, right? But when you look at it ultimately...
No, not the fans. I wasn't...
I know, but I'm just kind of...
Oh, okay, I got you. You're rounding it out. I got you.
Just rounding. Let me round second here.
Go ahead, round second.
So, Shanahan said that he's not going to make the decision based on the fans, right? So that right there, that statement, that kind of alludes to him saying, "All right, I know what you guys want. You guys want an athletic, fun watch quarterback.
Yeah,
fun to watch quarterback. But I am going to make the decision on what I think, and that's the Mac Jones talk."
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it was all smokescreen, and I think that they were playing everyone. I think they wanted Trey Lance from the beginning, and the reason why is so that they could detour the other rival teams in their division from drafting it accordingly.
Mm-hmm. I kind of think that they traded up for Mac Jones. I kind of think that, and then they immediately saw Trey Lance, his first tape, and they're like, "Oh, we're not drafting Mac Jones."
Really?
Yeah.
When they traded up in March, right?
A while ago, yeah.
But no, they were watching Trey Lance tape in January.
Yeah, I kind of think they traded up for Mac Jones. I don't fully trust Kyle. I almost thought that we were gonna hear Mac Jones. I really, and I love Mac Jones, man.
It's like Rick and Morty talk. It's like there's an alternate dimension where
alternate universe
where we're sitting on that couch and
we're super depressed right now.
dude, we just hear the words Mac Jones selected 3rd overall by the 49ers, and we're just sitting there like, oh.
I was in my apartment at school and I yelled that, and my roommate's like, "What?" It's like, we didn't draft Mac Jones. He's like, why would you not want Mac Jones?
He goes to Bama.
I do. I
said that 3 times.
People were a little, but it's fine. He went to New England. He's going to do great in New England.
Mac was so salty. You could see it in his face. He said that the Patriots were the team he wanted to go to all along. That's such
Bill and Saban are best friends. You know that, right?
I know.
I could see it.
No, I think that he wanted to go to the Niners. He looked bummed.
He did look bummed that he dropped.
Fields was kind of annoyed too.
I don't blame him. I think he still got drafted too low. I think the Broncos. Oh, let's talk about that. I think the Broncos are crazy. They have such a strong feeling that they're going to get Aaron Rodgers that they're ready to win. I wanted Justin Fields there. Justin Fields would have been great there. They passed on him.
I really hope that Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to the Broncos on the sole fact that franchise is essentially in the last 10 years. If he goes there, he's just they're a franchise that's basically just built upon Hall of Fame quarterbacks who have a ring going to these teams because they're just ready to have a quarterback. I just think it's foolish. I think it would be hilarious if they didn't draft a quarterback and they don't get Aaron Rodgers. That fan base is going to be stunned.
They have the thing is like they have so many offensive weapons and their defense is great with Vaughn and Chubb's going to be back this year. Bradley, is it Bradley Chubb? I forget.
I just don't want Denver to like that's just too much. If Denver gets Aaron Rodgers after they literally won the Peyton Manning sweepstakes, which put them over the edge, it's just going to make that fan base just spoiled.
Yeah. I get it. There's a little salt there. There is a little salt.
I wanted the Niners to get Peyton Manning back in that time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it made sense, right? In those days, even you don't go to the same conference.
Mm-hmm.
You go over from the AFC to the NFC. But I guess that didn't happen then because he went.
Yeah, but at least they weren't in the same division. I mean.
No, but I'm saying nowadays, the Seahawks didn't even want to get rid of Russ in the same conference. They're like, he's going to have to go to the other. And the same thing with the Packers. They're not going to trade him to someone in the conference.
Okay, this is a really interesting thing that I want to ask you. So I've been listening. I'm not the one who thought of this, but I think it was Haberman and Middlecoff, and they said this jokingly. What if the Seahawks and the Packers swapped quarterbacks?
I think it makes sense for Russell Wilson because he went to Wisconsin, and that's literally where he'd be playing.
Well, and then A-Rod would be back on the West Coast.
I don't know. I don't want him to go to the Seahawks.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying there's some ties there. I'm just a little. Isn't that kind of crazy to think about?
I don't know. I mean, that would be really sick, and I think Aaron Rodgers.
Take out the Niner bias.
Rodgers would be better. I think he'd be better off with DK Metcalf.
I just imagine Aaron Rodgers with Lockett and DK Metcalf.
They're gonna get rid of Lockett soon. He's too much.
You think?
Yeah. I have Seahawks inside.
Is that why they drafted so many wide receivers? They drafted a bunch of wide.
Yeah.
I was like, why are they drafting wide receivers?
They're gonna trade Lockett. Yeah, they should have gotten defensive players. Their defense sucks.
Yeah. So
it's almost like
I thought it was an interesting thing to ask.
You know what a team's gonna draft based on their needs. Right?
Oh well, I thought the Broncos. I love Surtain. It's corner.
I called it, dude. I was sitting there. I said they're gonna pick up an offensive lineman, and I knew that because
they didn't draft. The Broncos drafted Surtain.
They did.
They drafted corner Alabama. Yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah.
Oh wait, when did they draft?
The Chargers and the Lions got the tackles.
When did they? Oh,
number 9.
Oh, the Raiders got an offensive lineman.
17. Yeah.
I knew that they're doing that for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, not the Broncos. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
both of those teams, sorry.
Well, they also overdrafted him. He's from Alabama too. All these guys are from Alabama.
They definitely did that. Both teams did
They
that.
said he was a back end of the first round, top of the second round, our tackle.
I would rather, dude, it's so tough for me because Raiders fans would also be unbearable if they got Aaron Rodgers. Like, I want the Raiders to be good naturally. You know, this is like having a superstar at the caliber of Aaron Rodgers, a guy who literally just won the MVP, just transporting himself to a team basically means they're ready to win, right? Because what do you say all the time? Quarterback is everything. Who is under
If you don't have
center?
a quarterback, you have nothing.
Exactly. And if you have a quarterback that is an MVP winner multiple times and has been to the Super Bowl and won it,
Yeah.
that just basically turns your team into a contender immediately. Green Bay is always a contender, even though they don't.
Yeah,
win.
you. It's just the thing about it is, you have to have such a solid, well-rounded team if you don't have a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just like with the Niners. What did they have? They had what was the best PFF ranked defensive line in the last 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
To get there. Like, you have to have such an amazing team, and then your quarterback can let you down. When if you have a great quarterback, you can just have a couple extra pieces and they'll still get you over the hump. So that's why quarterback's so crazy. So
If you knew that Aaron Rodgers was unhappy with Green Bay
yeah.
before the draft, because this news came out,
The Niner.
I feel like this news kind of came out a little late, right?
Yeah.
We were kind of already set on getting a guy, right? We had already traded 3 first-round picks, which is a fuck ton.
Supposedly, they offered it and Green Bay shot it down.
They did.
And I think that's crazy.
So what'd they offer?
The third, more draft picks.
Wow.
And I just think even the third, I don't even know if I would because that's essentially you're trading
Your future.
Well, you're trading 3 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers, and he's only got 5 years left. Why would you do that trade if you could have already had Tom Brady for nothing?
Yeah.
It's just like I almost don't think that's true. I think they called and asked, like, is he available? I don't think they actually offered that third.
I think you're right.
I think that's crazy.
Where do you think Aaron Rodgers goes? We'll close the show here.
I'd love to see him in Vegas. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I don't know where else he would go. Broncos have the assets to get him. To be honest, the Broncos are probably the most likely team. I know you don't want it, but they have a ton of assets to get him. You know.
Yeah. I just think they're a very fortunate franchise to come across these Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Elway's a Hall of Famer, man. He's the QB whisperer.
Did Elway stay? Was he? Well, he's a QB whisperer, but did Elway play his whole career there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I think so.
Let's see. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
His entire career.
Yeah.
Okay, so besides Elway,
He's a lifer.
he won 2 rings with them.
He won on the back end when he wasn't the one carrying the team. It was the running game. You know?
Peyton Manning.
No, he was way better. No. Peyton Manning was a shell of himself. Terrible, horrible quarterback when he won that Super Bowl with the Broncos.
Yeah, I just think that coming across Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, 2, I would say top 5 maybe, definitely top 10, definitely top 7 quarterbacks of all time.
If Aaron Rodgers wins one more, he'll probably he would be over Peyton Manning in my book.
But you know what I mean? Those guys are right next to each other.
Yeah.
And those guys are like on any team, Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers with a decent team, they elevate them to playoff contenders, like Super Bowl contenders, playoff teams.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous for a team to just come across that twice.
If you can win your division without him,
yeah,
you're a Super Bowl contender. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
If any team can win, maybe not the NFC East. That's the only one. But
yeah, I just I don't know, man. I hope he goes to the Raiders, and then I hope
that'd be cool.
I hope Russ goes to Green Bay. That'd be cool.
Russ goes to Green Bay.
Russ to Green Bay. Aaron to the Raiders. That's
The Seahawks and the Pete Carroll.
Seahawks can have
They're
Jordan.
supposedly all right now.
They can have Jordan Love.
I feel bad for Jordan Love. God, that guy. When that guy gets on the field, if he makes any mistake, he's gonna be scrutinized. Like,
Dude, that guy is essentially just a chess piece. He's a pawn.
the Packers have totally botched this whole situation. It's too much.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show today. It's short, but we had a lot of fun talking about the draft. I know it's abruptly ending here. We'll be talking about video games that we liked as kids and now
Baseball, basketball, football, and kind of their influence on us, and like,
culture.
yeah, like
Sport.
when you see NFL players and they're all playing 2K or so.
Snell is complaining about his rating in the show.
Yeah, like that's hilarious to me. So
All right, guys.
yeah, thanks for being here with us. Appreciate you and
All right. Brady, peacing out.
yeah, Dean, peace, guys. See you guys Thursday.
Later. Solid show.